Okay, today is October the 2nd, 2017, and right now we're looking at the West Coast water vapor loop, and there is another heat wave forecast for the end of the week towards Friday, Saturday here for Southern California, and of course we can see the pattern here. We see high pressure installed right in the middle of the jet stream. Let's take a look at the jet stream map right now. We have high pressure installed right on top of the jet stream. Now, anybody that has taken any kind of meteorology classes should understand that nothing like that should ever happen when you have high-speed flow, a moisture field wrapping around towards a low, which is up here. We'll take another look. We have a low pressure system right up here over North Dakota, and we see that spinning. And then we have the jet stream flow down through California and up towards that low. But yet we have a high pressure just suddenly appearing, a dry zone. Actually, right now, the barometer is lower than the last video we did. The barometer right now is at 29.94. Okay, so it's not necessarily the pressure has risen, but we have a disruption here. This is probably a laser or microwave transmitter, which is evaporating the water vapor. If we look at this tan and dark area down here on the scale, we see that the tan is the most dry on this scale. Okay, we can see that the pink and the blue are the deeper areas of water vapor in these moisture fields and in this low up here. But yet we have this feature right here, right on top of the jet stream. That makes zero sense. But when we understand that what's going on here, we have a clear weather manipulation going on. We can see the blockade being built in right here. We have this moisture field being manipulated. We have a rectangle right here in the middle of that low. And some of this moisture is coming back towards Washington and through Montana, and that's going to be blockaded right here with this area of dry air, high pressure zone being installed to separate that from this next moisture field right here. We can see the chemtrails right in this area being sprayed. If we look at the bigger map, we can see that we can see what's happened here. We've got a low developing just north of the Hawaiian Islands, right here. We've got moisture flowing up towards up towards Alaska there, and there's a second low. This looks like a storm, and we can see high pressure. Look at this. We have clockwise rotation right adjacent to that to the center of that low. Just take a look at that. That is totally abnormal. This is a giant low pressure system. We'll have to take a look at the surface analysis map later on, but this is abnormal. We see clockwise rotation adjacent to that low. And then we have this blockade here, which has been built in. That's a man-made high pressure zone. I call it a electronic fence, but it's just serving as a blockade to prevent this low and its frontal system from mixing with this moisture field here, some of which is wrapping back down on the jet stream towards California. And of course, this is all being evaporated as this moves south, and that will maintain dry conditions for California. Now here is the infrared map for the western U.S. We can see the circular area here of high pressure. We have clockwise rotation, and this is sort of an outflow pattern. We can see the this ring is moving out as this high pressure, this descending air, continues to get itself set in place. We can see the chemtrails right here being sprayed right in that area. All right, so there's been an incident up in Las Vegas last night where 56 people have been shot and killed by someone with a automatic rifle firing from a high-rise hotel in Las Vegas. And we have to keep in mind the gun laws in Nevada and how that plays into what happened. We're hearing on television that a retiree, 64-year-old retiree, who is a pilot, has properties around the country, likes to gamble, has a girlfriend, would do something like this. His own brother said he was dumbfounded by the news that his own brother would do something like this, killing 56 people and injuring over 500. So once again, we have to look very closely at the television narrative and the bigger agenda, the deep state agenda, which is to disarm and to demonize guns and gun ownership. Everything about what we're seeing on TV is all anti-gun. The inferences we hear in the reporting, everything is negative. And so, once again, we've got Nevada targeted, 56 people shot and killed. The gunman was killed. Either that, we don't know what actually happened. If we're being told he killed himself. And then we're also hearing that the police there kicked in the door on the 37th floor, went in and killed him. At any rate, the gunman cannot speak for himself. We have a family member who says he's dumbfounded and said that his brother was just a guy living in Las Vegas who liked burritos, just a regular guy. And of course, the narrative on TV is that he had 30 some odd weapons in the room. We have to look at this very carefully. Obviously, the people that were killed, that's a terrible thing, obviously. And we're not, right now, I'm not addressing the people who were killed. I'm talking about the bigger agenda of the state of Nevada and its gun laws and the repercussions that unfold after something like this happens. We know what happened in Connecticut after Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was a sloppy, orchestrated event to stage a massacre that actually never happened. If you look up on YouTube, Wolfgang Halbig, Halbig, Wolfgang Halbig. He was a former Florida State Trooper, very knowledgeable guy. He was a law enforcement officer, obviously, and he could not get any answers. He was basically shuffled out of Connecticut, threatened, because he was asking too many questions. There are no death certificates of any of those kids that were supposedly killed at Sandy Hook School. And we're led to believe that we're crazy if we dare to ask any questions about Sandy Hook. And so we're in very, very troubling times, not only with these weather events going on, but with all the other stuff going on. There's an agenda to disarm, demonize gun ownership, and we're seeing that happening here in Nevada today. And of course, we have Arizona and Oregon that have similar gun laws that respect the Second Amendment and the law-abiding public's right to own and carry firearms. So all these things need to be looked at very carefully. We can't just compose the piano music and the candlelight vigils and all the rest of it. We have to look much, much deeper. We have to set aside the feelings. That is the investigators. The families, of course, are the big losers in all of this. And I don't mean at all to discount any of that, obviously. Losing family members is it's not even describable. Okay, so it's just something you can't put to words, but and I feel very bad for all those people. But we got to look at. We also have to look at what's happening in Nevada, the long-term ramifications of the legislation, gun legislation, and same thing in Arizona and Oregon and a few other states. Okay, so that's the report. And we'll just leave it right here and do another update later. Look, we can see this right angle, this rectangle here. Quickly, we can see that firming up. We can see high pressure right here being installed to separate this moisture field from wrapping back around into that low. So there's plenty of manipulation going on. We've got this low right near, a little storm developing just north of the islands. We should see some high pressure firming up right over these islands here real soon to protect them. Okay, that's it.